It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Thursday show, December 14th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox Local app. If you are watching live, we encourage you to check out that Fox Local app on your Roku, on your Fire TV, Apple TV, all that good stuff. Our bread and butter here at Woodward Sports is YouTube, so we invite you to hit that like button, subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. We're going to have a great show for you today. Braylon is here. He has been here, by the way. We had we record our segment on the Fox 2 pregame show. We record that on Thursdays. We just finished it. Actually, and we invite everybody to watch that pregame show.
How was it?
It was fantastic, but it was a one-take Drake kind of thing. But we literally finished it at 1:59, and Braylon had to run to Birmingham Roast to the bathroom and get himself all situated. So I assure you, he's not just walking into the show now. I just want to make that clear. So we'll let him get set for a minute. But first, Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you.
Hey, Rye. Hey, Bray. Hey, Pete. Hey, JB. Welcome in. Beautiful Thursday. Gorgeous day outside, by the way. Gorgeous. We got a great show for you. We got Mark Schlereth, Stink, is coming on with us, the former Denver Bronco, three-time Super Bowl champion. You know him from Fox 2, of course, Fox National. He does the games with Adam Amin. This week, he's doing the Carolina-Atlanta game because we're on the NFL Network on Saturday. And we got Kevin, who do we have?
Kevin Harlan.
Kevin Harlan. You got to love Kevin Harlan.
Right between the eyes.
He is a beauty, that guy. So anyway, Mark Schlereth will join us today, and we got Top 10 Thursday, and we're ready to have a great show today, guys.
That is absolutely fantastic. Now, officially, Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, my friend, as well as Tom Mazaway. I was here on time. We've actually been here since 11, shooting the Fox 2 as well as company meetings. So here last night, Ryan, got a chance to go to lunch or go to dinner. Got a chance to go with the dinner to dinner with the man himself, Lloyd Carr. Shout out to Pat and John. Sorry they got cut off of the picture, but this particular picture wasn't about them. It was about Lloyd. Ryan Maz, like he's in this older age, the conversation is great, man. We talked about, when I was there, talked about why he went to Michigan and why he chose to be a defensive back at Michigan, defensive back coach. We just talked about life, talked about a lot of things, and it was so great. It reminded me kind of like of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and John Wooden, if you will. It's always about taking care of your coach. Now, obviously, I'm not near as good as Lou Alcindor, no course to John Wooden, but just taking care of Coach, man. And we had a great moment, dropped him off, and we had like a heart-to-heart. And I feel like it was like the closing of a chapter for me and moving into this next chapter. I got the signature I believe I needed.
Did you have enough gas?
You know what? Yes, and that's the first thing he cracked the joke on. I ran out of gas with Coach Carr years ago, but he loved the car. I had gas in there, and I was 6 minutes early.
I love that. Now, Braylon, we just flashed on the screen, a picture of, obviously a picture of you and Lloyd, but a picture of, John Wooden and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's right there, and there's something about, the history, coming full circle too, because, and you've made no secret about this, when you were in school, especially in your earlier years at Michigan, you and Lloyd Carr, Coach Carr, did not exactly mesh perfectly, but because this relationship cultivated over a number of years while you were at Michigan, and you grew into this, one of the greatest players in Michigan football history, and you a lot of that credit, of course, the four parents that you have, but a lot of that credit goes to Lloyd Carr as well. And the ability that you have now after 20 years.
This is real.
But this to really real. Experience, looking back, and I feel like that is a relationship that not too many player and coaches get anymore because it's just so easy to leave. So I get emotional and sentimental about the fact that, like, here's this coach, it was really hard on you, helped you grow. You didn't like it then. You did grow to like it, and now you understand what it was all about. That's pretty special.
No, it's more than special. It's funny because the car at the light was a Bentley Coupe, and that's the car I ran out of gas in.
Oh, my gosh.
With Coach in the car, so it was like a full circle moment. But you're absolutely correct. When you're young, coaches – you got to give coaches a lot of credit, especially ones that are as great as Coach Carr, because they have to manage so many different personalities. He's got to manage Chris Perry. He's got to manage Braylon Edwards. He's got to manage Pierre Woods. He's got to manage Lamar Woodley. He's got to insert player here. And they do it with grace, at least Coach Carr did. And I didn't know what I didn't know now. Then. I didn't know that I was making it all about me. I didn't know that I was complaining when there was no reason to complain. I didn't know those things, and now I look back and he's just trying to turn me into what he saw that I can be, and he told me he was proud of me, so I was very proud moment. You're 100% right. But he told me about Paul Feinbaum too.
I want to hear this story.
He had a Paul Feinbaum story. We always talk about Paul Feinbaum, how he hates on Michigan because of the SEC and blah, 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 and they should be suspended, and who cares about Michigan? They're not that good. So Paul Feinbaum, I cracked the joke yesterday, he was the first one hating on Charles Woodson winning the Heisman over Peyton Manning. SEC love, Tennessee.
I did finish that last night,
it was
by the
great,
way. I had to go to ESPN Plus.
I
had to
did
put
too.
the ESPN.com/activate.
I don't do it. Oh, my God. Anyway.
To try to fast forward it, it took 10 minutes.
Here you go.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Feinbaum.
That it does. It does. But Paul Feinbaum, he's the first one you hear in the Heisman race hating on Charles Woodson. He told me after they won the national championship in '98, he went down to Alabama State banquet, or if you will, football's banquet. He was being honored for something. And so the guy that was there after the banquet said, hey, there's this guy, you got to think, this is '98. Paul Feinbaum wasn't Paul Feinbaum then. He was just a guy with a radio show.
He's just some dude down in the South.
And he still is, in my estimation. But he's like, hey, you got this go up with this guy, Paul Feinbaum, wants to interview you. Now, Lloyd, you can say no because this guy rubs a lot of people the wrong way, so he's not necessarily the nicest guy. Coach says he does the interview, talks to the guy, and this is when they were trying to talk about the playoff. This is even in '98. They were talking about coming up with the playoff system because they were mad at how it played out.
It was the BCS then.
It was the BCS, but they were talking about the actual playoff system then. And Lloyd said, no, I'm a traditionalist. Like, I don't want. He basically was trying to egg Lloyd to go there, basically to get Lloyd to say that they weren't necessarily that good this year, or how would they have fared. And he egged, and finally Lloyd said, look, we can agree to disagree, and you can have your opinion, and I have mine. In my opinion, I've been doing this interview a little bit too long, so I hope you have a good day. Coach said he got up and left and listened to it on the way to the airport. Said the guy just berated him and killed him and crushed him. So as I always tell you, Paul Feinbaum has a Michigan bias that has been built up since '97, and Lloyd Carr didn't make it any better. That's why I love my coach. So great night last night, man.
So Braylon calls me, Maz, or Braylon texts me, and he says, hey, I'm going to call you in 5-10 minutes.
Coach wanted to talk to him.
Coach Carr was ready to talk to Ryan Ermanni.
He was.
And I'm sitting there in the front row at my kid's Christmas concert with a bunch of third graders singing Joy to the World. And I'm like...
Meanwhile, I had the real joy.
Meanwhile, I've got my phone on my lap, and I'm like, how do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? Nicole is like, what are you doing? I said, Coach Carr.
I didn't know this.
She's like, sit down. And I was like, I can't talk.
You poor bastard.
That's exactly what he sent me
Oh,
back.
my God.
I felt bad.
Man.
I knew that wasn't happening. I knew that.
But I mean, honestly, so I'm sitting in the front row of this Christmas concert. It's not like I could absolutely, get up and walk out on these, in this big gym. But what an opportunity! Like, sometimes. Sorry to talk.
No, go ahead.
One of the great things about this job is to meet people like Braylon Edwards, who has lived the life. Really?
That we all dreamed of.
I'm blessed.
That you grow up,
I know I'm
dreaming
blessed,
of, and then you meet them, and they're just like you and me. They got the they get up, they put the pants on the same way.
This is
you
true.
know what I mean?
Not him and me. He puts his pants on a lot easier than I put mine on.
Not with these knees.
But you know what I mean? It's just so cool. Like, growing up for me, everybody talks about Bo Schembechler, right?
Yeah.
Bo Schembechler is Michigan. For me, It was Lloyd Carr.
It is.
Lloyd Carr is my Bo Schembechler
Sure.
to my generation. You know, what he did for Michigan and winning a national championship. And I know my friends in East Lansing and elsewhere like to say, oh, it was a split national championship. Well,
yeah, because of the voting, and that's another thing we talked about. Because of how the coaches voted in the coaches poll, that's why it was a split.
You know what I found out about? The Peyton Manning was left off some ballots.
Yeah.
Just like Michigan was left off Phil Fulmer's ballot. So
100%.
I guess who the hell would leave Peyton Manning off their ballot?
Because they were sick of the SEC. They were sick of Peyton Manning. They were sick of the whole story. Plus, he lost to Florida. See, back then, they really valued the season. They valued your rivalry games. Like, you can't win the Heisman and lose your rival game. Like,
I know, but to leave them off is a sin.
Yeah, no,
those guys should have their ballots taken away from them.
I agree.
You know, one of the things that I did watch that 30 for 30, one of the things about that is how much it was talked about all
the whole
season long.
Yeah. Yep, it was big.
The award itself was bigger than the national championship. And I know it was a documentary about the Heisman, but nonetheless, that's how it was, actually. I remember being a freshman at Michigan when Charles Woodson was a part of that. We talked about the Heisman Trophy every single week, almost every day, every game. It was that important. And now, I don't know if it's been watered down because it does feel like the best quarterback in the country, the one with the most yards and touchdowns. Maybe these offenses, because of how good they have gotten, where your kids are throwing for 4,000 yards and 6-7 touchdowns a game. Lamar Jackson, when he won it, some of the numbers that he had,
1,400 yards rushing, 3,200 yards passing,
six touchdowns a game. Maybe it feels watered down, but man, that's one of the things I miss and forget about college football.
You're 100% right, but that 97 class, man, stay with me on this one.
Oh, yeah.
You're absolutely correct. It is watered down. It used to be kind of start to finish. It was more the teams, the brands, etc. But that class was special, and the storylines, Ryan, that's what made that special. You look at Peyton. So here's 97. Peyton decides to come back. Could have been the number one pick.
To the Jets.
Went to the Jets.
Son of a gun. I forgot about that.
Number one pick decides to come back because hasn't won the Heisman, hasn't beat Florida, hasn't won the national championship. He comes back for that. Charles Woodson already had made All-American. People knew how good Charles Woodson was. He's at Michigan. Michigan has a really good team. So then you got that storyline. Then you had Ryan Leaf. Who's this reckless kid out in Washington State who we knew then had issues and a problem, but he's cleaning them up. He's doing well. But you had his story, and then they go to the Rose Bowl. So it was storylines on top of players. I mean, everybody in that start to finish, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, or they should have won it. Randy Moss gets drafted 24.
No doubt about it, guys. Such
and
great
his
stuff.
Story.
Yeah.
Florida decommit, he's like, hey, Lou Holtz said, nah, he can't come here. But hey, Bobby, you should get this guy. Then he goes to Florida State, smokes some marijuana, they kick him out. Down to his last school, goes to Marshall. First year, 25 touchdowns. Next year, 27 touchdowns. Like the storylines, I think, are what made that also special. And now they're all in the Hall of Fame.
Phenomenal.
No doubt about it. Great stuff, Bray. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, news regarding C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Lions injuries as well. Dan Campbell spoke a little while ago. We'll get you the update on that. But first, a message from Dispo.
All right, that's right. Dispo Romeo. Friday and Saturday, Santa will be there. So come bring the kids, or if you want to see Santa, you bring yourself. Dispo Romeo now open till midnight. Recreational only, 21 and up, but they got the best ways to consume your cannabis, whether it's oil, whether it's flour, they got it all. And they got the best brands like a kid in a candy store. Come see Santa, Dispo Romeo, Friday and Saturday.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company. Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. For over 60 years, they've been doing that as a family. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. I just put my order in with them for the beef tenderloin on Christmas Day.
Ooh.
Cannot wait for that. You can visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. Or if you can't make it in person, you can always order online. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com.
Why don't we have our Christmas dinner right there at Fairway?
We could.
All right.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
Look at this.
Look at
Pete. How about Pete?
It's like the Brady
Spivak?
Bunch.
My
It's
goodness.
like a Hollywood Squares.
Pete
Even
Spivak.
better.
There it is.
I like
right
this.
Let's see. Oh, here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Job. I love it.
Look up, look down.
I
Just
love
like
it.
the Brady Bunch.
You're
Look
in there,
sideways.
JB. You see yourself, JB? Oh, yeah. We got to, let's see. Shout out to Pete Spivak, who was here after 10 o'clock last night.
Working, man.
I got to look at this.
Learning and building
Look at that.
all of these new camera shots for you guys to enjoy so that
good.
all of us could be on the screen. Great job, Pete. Look
Hey,
at
my
that.
pleasure, boys.
Look at this guy right
Shout
We
here.
out
got
to
a
you.
3-shot here, too.
Okay,
Let's
I
see
see
it.
this. You got the, okay.
I love
that's
this.
beautiful.
I love
This
this
is
as
great.
well. Look
There
at
you
Matt.
go.
Matt's like my guardian angel.
Oh,
He's on my
man.
shoulder.
He's over your right shoulder.
He's right
no,
here.
thanks, guys. I
We
really
look down
appreciate
at
it,
you.
boys.
Man,
Sure,
dude,
love
you're
it.
the man, Pete
Love you
Spivak.
guys. I love you guys, and I love being here, too. This really is a freaking fun place to work. Let me tell you something.
I love it, Pete. That means a lot. And of course, being paired with this guy, JB, in
Playing
the booth
sick
opposite to you. This guy is something else.
Strip club.
Be
man.
over there.
Yeah, no
do what
doubt.
I can.
Strip club JB.
JB is
out.
one of the biggest team guys you'll ever
Yes, he
get
is.
in any operation.
And the quietest.
Team
preaching
appreciate
guy.
that.
Absolutely.
Team strip club.
Absolutely. Hey, it just came down a little while ago, so I did want to make mention that Michigan State did get their quarterback. I see it. This Oregon State quarterback, the #1 quarterback in the portal.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
great.
Ukulele?
No, the Chile's guy, or I don't even know how to say his name, to be honest with you. He's never played it down in football, but apparently, according to the pundits, he is the top recruit in the portal.
That's how it goes,
Aiden
typically.
Chiles, following Jonathan Smith to East Lansing. So good for them. Just wanted to get that news out there.
They could be back on the board a lot quicker than in the past.
It can happen quickly,
Yep.
can it? It
Yep.
can happen quickly. CJGJ, guys.
He's a beast.
He is medically cleared to play. Dan Campbell was at the podium about an hour ago and had this to say about the Lions' free agent safety.
The implication, the most recent one, is he's been medically cleared. I was wondering if you've got the same report. Is there a hope or expectation that he could have his window started next week?
Yeah, I got the same report, which is good news. It's great news, and he is. So it is back to what we said. He's one of the X-Men. He's got these mutant genes because he is healed extremely quickly, and it is. He's gotten the strength back. It is secure, and so yeah, he's going to be ready to go here pretty soon. You're going to ask me about this game. Maybe we play in this game. Is that what you're asking?
No, I just ask if the practice window starts next week.
I promise you won't play this game. Yeah, I mean, Brad and I need to talk about it, but it's good news. And certainly the plan will be, let's get him going ASAP. That would be the plan. Get him practicing, getting his legs back under him, get him in shape, football shape. But that's great news. And it's a credit to him, too, now. He's been working. He's been working.
Wow, man. I mean, so many different ways to go, but personally for CJ, man, he put the work in, he healed, and he's ready to go. Won't play this week, but I guarantee you see him next week.
Yeah, shout out to Dan Campbell for the Marvel reference. Wolverine is taken by Brian Dawkins already, as we know, so maybe he could be Sabretooth, Wolverine's brother, who also healed quick. You got to give him love for the work that he put in. He told us in the beginning that he was going to come back during the season. He said it wouldn't take until next season. He said he was going to stay the course. This is a guy that wants to prove why he came to Detroit. This is a guy that wants to prove he wanted to be here. He wanted to be the leader of that defense, and now he gets a chance to come back in a pivotal time for the Detroit Lions. We talk about what that secondary has been, what the defense really needed. It's really a leader as well as guys that make plays. So when he gets out there having that, just that energy alone, Ryan, just the energy of the guys, just seeing that in the papers today or getting that report last night as they were leaving practice. You know what a little energy boost like that does to a team? Starts to tell the team, the time is right. The time is now. It's time to stop playing games. It's time to get back on our stuff like we were early on in the season. This is great news all the way around, not only what he brings on the field, but what he brings in just energy. Remember his energy with the ski mask? Well, maybe we'll get that ski mask energy back. It's about that time.
Listen, man, this is a guy that injured himself early in that game against Seattle and played with a torn pec and made plays throughout that game. He didn't even know he tore his pec. He said, I'll just get looked at tomorrow. I should be okay. And then they're like, nope, you're not okay. You need surgery. And he's like, it's okay. I'm going to be back.
That's okay.
I'll be back by Minnesota.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. He's defended his quarterback against Cam Newton the other day. Don't talk bad about Jared Goff. You want to talk? I'll talk to you. Have me on your podcast. We'll have some fun. This is a guy that I told you from the get-go. I want him re-signed. I want him re-signed. I don't give a damn how the next few weeks work out. I want this guy back because this guy is a player, and this guy changes the defense. I said it. He was the guy I wanted in free agency. He's here now, and I thank the football gods for bringing him back to us, and I can't wait to see him on the field again.
Let's just take a quick snapshot at that Philadelphia secondary since CJ has been gone. Look at that secondary this year. Look at Bradbury.
They're struggling.
Look at Slade. They had to go out and get Kevin Byard. Why is that? Because that secondary is not the same secondary without CJ. Oh, it's big play Slade. Who's a friend of the show? Who's a friend? We love you. We appreciate you. Wish you would have never left Detroit. But I'm making a point. Where's big play Slade and all the plays he's making? Where's James Bradbury and this elite corner? Where are this shutdown DBs? It looks different because they don't have the point person. And that point person is CJ. That's what he brings to a secondary. That's what he brings to a team. So just to have him back whenever it is, it's going to be major for this Detroit Lions team.
Obviously, what he does on the field at a position of weakness for the Detroit Lions is, I mean, that alone is worth its weight in gold. But I come from it from who is the player on this team that provides more attitude than CJ? Who is the guy that you look at and you're like, that guy's got it? Amon-Ra? I think you look at Amon-Ra.
Cam Sutton?
But
you see what I'm saying? I'm talking about a vocal, brash guy that's going to talk poop and like talk the talk. I want to say
and walk the walk.
I want to say talk, crap.
Yeah.
Without it's a family show. He's gonna talk
some
stuff.
spit.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Out on the field, and he's gonna back it up. And when you got a crap talker that backs it up on the field, that is immeasurable. I think what it does for the people around you. It's an attitude, and when you play with attitude, man, this guy is just phenomenal.
It's a great thing to have leaders that can get the job done, that give you the right guidance, that put you in the right situations. But it's a different type of thing, Ryan, when you got vocal leaders. Like, if you're the 49ers and you're walking in the boombox, who's holding that boombox? It's Deebo Samuel. That's the guy they follow in the battle. That's the guy to get them ready. If you're the Cowboys, you got Micah Parsons. That's the guy you follow. That's the guy that's making the noise. When you have a guy that not only can walk the walk, but talk the talk as well. Man, I've been in some locker rooms, and I've always loved those guys that can talk that talk. I'll talk a little bit on the field, but I wasn't that guy like CJ. I wasn't that guy like Deebo Samuel. Those guys add a different element because not only are they in your head the whole game, they're also out there making plays.
Right.
So you're not just like, I mean, he's talking, he's right, but what is he doing? Last time I checked, Deebo Samuel was in end zone on this play. He was in end zone on that play. He knocked somebody out on this play. So when you got guys that can walk the walk and talk the talk, it takes you to a whole nother level. You're like, man, what the hell am I waiting for?
I'll tell you, a couple of things that went under the radar yesterday was Quentin Bohanna, who I thought was pretty good in his limited time here. The Tennessee Titans grabbed him from the practice squad, so he is with the Tennessee Titans now. The Lions re-signed a guy that was an undrafted free agent. His name is Chris Smith, so he is going to take Bohanna's place. But I don't know, man. I saw that guy do a couple things, and I know he's not there for the whole entire game. They're just plugging him in. He's a practice squad guy, but I remember the last practice squad guy they took was Josh Dobbs, and he turned out to be pretty good, at least in the short term.
Well, and again, it's an area of weakness for the Detroit Lions, and you're already down a player in a Lee McNeil.
Surprised.
So maybe this puts the onus squarely on the third-round draft pick, Broderick Martin, as well. He has got to step in here. You're not a rookie anymore in Week 14. You know, I mean, it's just you got to be playing some good football and grow up a little bit, and it does put guys like Pascal and Hutchinson and all these guys along that line. John Kaminsky, my guy, Isaiah Buggs. Everybody's just got to raise their game up a little bit, and I do think a guy on the back end that comes in and provides a little bit of attitude to your defense, specifically on defense. That stuff goes a long way.
Yeah, it definitely goes a long way. And like I said, having a guy that can be that vocal, and then on defense, it really would pick those guys up. Because you got guys that, frankly put, guys don't know how, or guys are young, and they're trying to figure out how to make that spark. It's tough to create a spark when you don't know how to necessarily do it. Mm-hmm. It's tough to be that guy. Doesn't matter where you were drafted. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you drafted first or second or third or in the fourth or fifth or sixth round. Doesn't matter. That spark comes from people that naturally have that spark. GJ naturally has it, and when he brings it back to the team, it's going to work on both sides of the ball. Because once they get some stops, once they start getting that energy, now the offense is going to be like, yo, we got to stop putting those guys in those bad positions. Because you almost fear. Like, you're like, man, we can't put that defense in bad situations because they're going to come let us know about ourselves. Right now, no one on that defense is saying anything in that offense. Nobody on that offense saying anything in that defense.
No doubt. Guys, we're going to be joined by Mark Schlereth coming up next, Fox NFL analyst, of course.
Nice shot.
3-time Super Bowl champ. He is calling the Falcons and Panthers this week, but want his expertise on the Detroit Lions in where they go from here in the final month of the season. Absolutely, no doubt about it. He knows that Broncos team very well. We'll do that next, but first a message from Big Boy.
All right, fellas, wintertime is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. You want to start your day off with a great breakfast. The stuffed potato pancakes are back. So are the Santa Fe omelet and the lumberjack as well. And those brand new apple pie hotcakes are too good to pass up. And you want to top it off with a great gingerbread shake. All from your local Big Boy.
And now, Tom Mazaway, what do you got for us? Jack Labrador?
I do. I got Jack Labrador, and we've been telling you about this. The rock, paper, scissors game has got company. It's got a new game called Jack Labrador, made up by 3 friends here in Metro Detroit. It is a gorgeous stocking stuffer. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's got 2 new symbols and a 3-point play. So if you're playing rock, paper, scissors, you add this to it, and it's going to be better. 1 deck of cards, and it comes in this great box. This 1 deck of cards.
Okay.
And it comes in this beautiful box, packaged beautifully for Christmas. 3 new games of nonstop action. It's the perfect no-brainer stocking stuffer for all ages. Scan the QR code or go to JackLabrador.com. Get your
Labrador
deck now.
Labrador.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry-aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. Drinkcintron.com/Vegas. Gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Pete Spivak. And, of course, want to thank Pete Spivak for all of his new great angles, camera work that we've got going
new
on
show,
here.
New era.
Absolutely. JB in the house as well. Braylon, I wanted to ask you about this because I'm just regarding Frank Ragnow, okay? He was out last week. We'll get track down Stink in 1 second. But Dan Campbell, this from David Burkett, on whether the Lions will have their starting offensive line this week. Quote, I'm hoping, but I won't know till after today. Ragnow will practice again today, just need to make sure the knee is okay. At what point do you decide on whether to play again or not? Because it feels like if the knee is not okay, if that's a guess, if you got to go try to figure that out, why not wait another week?
Because now you're in the crunch time, Ryan Ermanni. You talk about trying to make sure the Lions win the North, trying to make sure the Lions secure themselves a playoff spot and put themselves in the best potential position. Look, if he goes this week and then can't go the next week, I'd rather him go secure a win. You see what the team is. Hey, if he can't play in the playoffs, but he gets them to the playoff, he gets them to lock up 11 wins, they lock up the number 3 seed and whatever that is, he locks that up. Then I'm all for that. This is crunch time, and you got to have guys play to get you to where. Because if you're resting him, what if you're resting him and then you lose these 4 games?
Right,
What
no
if you're
doubt.
resting him and you lose a game? So you got to have your guys play if they can play.
No doubt about it. All right, let's go to the phone lines now and bring in a 3-time Super Bowl champ, of course, Fox NFL analyst, working the Falcons and Panthers this week. The great Mark Schlereth is with us now. He lives out in Denver, so he knows this Broncos team pretty darn good, too. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic.
Thanks,
You know, we were just talking about, so it's a position very well, the offensive line. The Lions deciding whether or not Frank Ragnow will play this week. Obviously a key cog on that offensive line. They've been together one time this entire season. We're working on game, 13 or 14 right now?
It's game 14.
How difficult is that when you don't have your offensive line, the guys that you thought were going to be starting for you all year, just not be together?
Yeah, I think from a communication standpoint, it's difficult. I mean, I've always said this about playing offensive line. All 5 of us could be doing the wrong thing. As long as we're doing the wrong thing together, it's probably going to work out. And that's kind of how it works. And then that communication aspect of it, snapping the ball. Obviously, had a missed snap last week where there was a fumble between Jared Goff and Glasgow. So, those things are real, and those are problems. And if you're good enough to go, I mean, it's one thing to play hurt, and it's another thing to play injured. I believe you have to play both hurt and injured. But most importantly, you have to play well hurt and injured. And that's a requirement. To me, that's just a requirement of playing in the National Football League. So if he's good to go or if he can get out there on the football field, I think that helps solidify them and actually puts them in the best position to have success. So those are important things, and those 5 guys working together, it's a really important aspect of football. It's 5/11ths of your football team, and those guys have to be on the same page.
Definitely glad that I'm a descendant of your era, because I believe in playing injured and hurt. Sometimes you had to back in the day, so I appreciate that comment. Mark, looking at this team right now, they've been struggling. You look at the Detroit Lions, offensive line play has been inconsistent, as we're talking about. Haven't been able to necessarily pass the game like they did early on in the season. How do the Lions and Ben Johnson, most importantly, how do they get back to playing that type of football, even if Frank Ragnow cannot go?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that happened last week, right? You look at St. Brown dropped a couple of balls. That's not him, right? He's one of their best players. He didn't have a great game last week. Protection was an issue. Sometimes that's just a matter of communication, especially when you're on the road. So they got a pocket that got pressed on several different occasions. Where you're either speeding up the quarterback's rhythm and he's got to throw the ball before he's ready, or, he's taking a sack. So those things obviously, are part of that. I think the biggest thing, for Ben Johnson, they average 6 yards a carry between their 2 backs. Their 2 backs are tremendous, but you get to the point where you're not getting enough opportunities. When you're not converting and you're putting yourself behind the chains on occasions, and you're playing from 2nd down and 10 for incomplete passes or drops and things of that nature, you don't get to run the ball as much as you want. So then it becomes one of those things where you don't have the effect in the play action game that you really want. So it really staying on schedule and opportunities. I always look at not so much yards per carry as my most important tell in the run game. My most important tell is attempts, because if I'm getting a ton of attempts, I know that we're on the field a bunch. The other thing I know about attempts is you're getting worn out as a defense. That is hard. You have to defend the run, and there's nothing more demoralizing than a team that just keeps running on you and running on you and running on you, and getting 4 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards, pop out for 14. And when that happens to you, it just wears you out as a defense. And then all of a sudden those big plays happen over the top in the passing game. So, it's about staying on the field, possessing the ball, and getting those attempts is what's really going to help that offense, play to their capabilities. And we've seen them play that way.
Talking to Fox NFL analyst and 3-time Super Bowl champ Mark Schlereth. Mark, last question for me is, how much of it is pressing too? I remember playing for the Cleveland Browns my first 2 years. We were horrible, shocking. The Browns horrible, right? But then in that 3rd year, we won 10 games. We won 7 at home. That next year, everybody gave us their best shot. Nobody was just looking at the Browns as a pushover that year. Everybody gave us their best shot, and I think that's what the Lions are experiencing this year. Nobody's taking them lightly. Am I kind of in the ballpark in that everyone's giving them their best shot?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that that's what you're going to get. And I think the other thing is, from a pure talent standpoint, I think offensively they're as talented as anybody in the National Football League. I think defensively, and I always think about it from my perspective as a game planning. Anzalone's having a great year. He's really a good player. Brian Branch is a really good player, but they're on the second level of the defense. My thing is always, do you have any kind of quote-unquote, we used to call them war daddies? Do you have any war daddies on your football team?
Yeah.
And if you have one, I can deal with that. And you guys have one, and that's Hutchinson. After that, there's nobody that I'm afraid of blocking one-on-one in any situation, even if it's with the tight end. There's
nobody that I fear. So if you have one guy that's really good on the line of scrimmage, as an offense, I can deal with him. It's when you have 2 guys
that are really capable, because you can't double team everybody, right? And you can walk up and you can make people go man, or what we used to say, mingo, 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 and then I can force some one-on-ones with my secondary guy. And McNeil's a really good player, don't get me wrong. But like I said, there's nobody that I'm completely threatened by on that defense other than Hutchinson. And I can take him out of a game plan and render him ineffective. He's always going to make some plays because he plays hard, he hustles, and he's a really good player. But I can essentially have him doubled in a myriad of different ways. The other thing I can do to him is I can make him defend a million different things, meaning 1 minute I've got 2 tight ends blocking him. 1 minute I've got a tackle and a tight end blocking him. 1 minute I've got a tackle and a fullback blocking him. Next minute I'm rolling over there, and and I got a couple of wide receivers. So now all of a sudden you got 14 different looks that you're defending one play on, and you're like, this is like, it's killing me. And those are the ways you effectively deal with a guy that's a really good player.
Hey, Stink, it's Maz. Thanks again for coming on with us. We love having you. Matter of fact, you and Adam are, you're like our home team here. You've done a lot of games of the Lions. What have you seen? What is the difference you've seen from the beginning of the season till last week when you saw him in Chicago?
Well, I think, injuries on the defensive side of the ball have definitely taken their toll. The first 6 games, they were giving up 18 points a game, a little over 18 points a game. In the last 6 games up until last week, they were giving up close to 30 points a game. And that's kind of a battle of attrition situation, with some injuries and things of that nature. And one thing I think about them, and, Fields said this to me, Justin Fields said this to me, and I think this is a testament to your coach and to that organization right now. He said, I can tell on film they have a great culture. And that was interesting to me. And I was like, well, tell me, like, how do you see that on film? Because I know how I see it on film. And he goes, because they play exceptionally hard, they fly around, and they got corners that will tackle. Like, there's nobody that's above the team, right? Every guy is flying around trying to dislodge the ball and hitting people. And they try to out-hit you and out-hustle you. And so he goes, and you can see that on film, and I completely 100% agree with him. Now, I think talent-wise, like, do you have the most 2 talented corners in football? No. Are they good players? Yeah, but are they the most talented? No. I could name a dozen teams with a better tandem from a pure talent standpoint at the cornerback position. But the bottom line is they do fly around, they do hit people, and so that part, as long as offensively you're producing, you can overcome some of the defensive talent deficiencies, if you will. But if that offense isn't consistently maintaining the ball, possessing the ball, and producing, well, then that defense is going to get exposed over time.
How about these Denver Broncos, your old team? One of the hottest teams in the league. Sean Payton, when they were 1-5, said, hey, if the Lions did what they did last year, there's no reason that we can't do that. And you see a reborn Russell Wilson, and you see a reborn defense, the way they were playing last year. What are the Lions in for in this game, Mark?
I'll tell you, the Broncos, won under Vance Joseph on the defensive side of the ball. Let's start there. They dumped a couple of guys that were high-priced guys. Randy Gregory, they went out and got in free agency, paid him a ton of money. They just dumped him. Like, hey, later, dude, you're out. Same thing with Frank Clark. And they were
on a rotation of young guys on the edge. Now, I think Benito might be injured. He may not be able to play, so that hurts them a little bit on the edge. But they've got some young players that play hard and are actually really good players. I think Browning has the ability to become a really good pass rush guy. Mike Purcell was hurt early in the year. He was on PUP or something of that nature. He's a really good run-stuffing nose guard. He plays that way, and he makes a lot of plays, makes a lot of tackles for kind of little to no gain. That kind of run stuff, that 2 yards and less kind of run. So he does a really good job with that. Singleton is just a fly-around energy guy at the linebacker position. They got one of the best corners in football, and they've developed a nickel guy in McMillan that is as good as any nickel in the league. Man, that dude flies around. He's a great blitzer. And Vance Joseph is just one of those guys who will blitz you on any down. He'll bring pressure on every single down. So they're a pressure front. They're a pressure defense that way. And I think the biggest thing, and this is a Sean Payton quality, is understanding not only what your strengths are, but more importantly, what your limitations are, what your weaknesses are, and then mitigating those weaknesses, making sure you don't play to those weaknesses. With the Broncos, it really is about their quarterback. And there's a lot of things that Russell Wilson doesn't do well. And Sean basically has eliminated them from the program.
And they're going to run the football. They're going to get their attempts, even though they're averaging 3 whatever yards a carry. They're going to get their attempts. Then they're going to create opportunity from their backs with screens, swing passes in the flats. They'll attack you in the flats, and then they'll play pass you. meaning, they'll flag that ball out and play action. They'll have 2 tight ends on one side. They'll have a 7-8 man protection and 2-man route. And they'll let Russell take some deep shots because he throws the deep ball as well as anybody, and he throws those swing passes and those screens. And those things are harder. They're short passes, but there's a touch that you have to have because you can't rifle them in there and you can't lob them in there because that gives the defense time to react. There's a layering effect to that ball that has to be perfect, and he throws that ball exceptionally well for those backs to catch it in stride. And then one of the things I like about that system is you put it back on a cornerback, and you say, now we're going to make this corner tackle. And you make that corner tackle enough on a big back that's 220 pounds, and he runs you over or he gets a couple extra 3-4 yards. You do that enough, eventually that guy's going to break down and cover it.
And that's when they attack you over the top. So it's a pretty simple system. It's pretty simple what they're doing, but they're executing it well, and they're possessing the ball. They're winning the time possession by 10 minutes in all these wins they've had. I think they've stacked 6 of the last 7. So when you look at it that way, that's really what they're doing. It's really, football at its core can be very complex, but it's very simple, and it's a very simple game plan. They're basically trying to beat you up physically. They're trying to do the same thing Detroit is to a degree, only Detroit's passing game, is a lot more advanced because their quarterback is just he's a better anticipatory thrower, better windows thrower, better at the intermediate routes. Russell really doesn't throw those routes very well.
Hey, Mark, final thing. I wanted to ask you about the game you're doing this week, Falcons at the Panthers. You mentioned the quarterbacks. How about Bryce Young? What do you think is going through his mind? His coach is fired. You see C.J. Stroud not in offensive Rookie of the Year competition. He's being talked about as an MVP. Will Levis brings his team back from down 14 points or 13 points with 3 minutes to go. A lot of people are looking at him as the next quarterback of the Titans. What is going through the mind of Bryce Young right now, in your opinion?
Yeah, they're not very
good at any level on the offensive side, but he's really struggling. And looking at him on film and watching him on film, and this is an issue with a lot of young quarterbacks, but maturing quarterbacks, is if you design something on the front side and it's not open and he's got to take the time to get to the backside, it's an incompletion, or a sack, or he can't get to the backside. When he goes to the backside, I think the pocket collapses around him enough at 5'9" and whatever, or 5'10", he doesn't see much of it. And so the accuracy and the timing is just off of that offense. So if number one that you design isn't open, then you're in trouble. And what you see a lot of teams doing with him is they're stacking the box. They're bringing rolling safeties down, stacking the box. They're playing some type of, press man on the outside with a single high safety, and they're trying to disrupt the routes so that first read isn't open. And knowing that now all of a sudden there's enough clutter on the inside. The other thing you'll see of them a lot is blitzing in the middle of the football field. So they're bringing pressure up the middle, which is going to affect his eyes. And when that first guy isn't open, and he tries to get back to the backside, you see him drop his eyes down to the pass all the time. He's struggling. And they designed a bunch of play pass stuff. Play pass is off a 7-step drop. You're at about 11.5 yards deep, so that you can see that you throw one deep. And he must have had 4 or 5 shots. He probably has 12 shots in the last he's probably had 12 deep shots in the last 2 games, and he put it on the receiver one time. So not only are you overthrowing him by 8 yards, but you can't even get you're not even going to draw a PI. Underthrow it and see if you can, see if you can get, as the receiver stops, see if you can get the DB to run into you right. and at least get a PI, right? I mean, you throw it 8 yards over a guy's head out of bounds, you can't even, you're not going to get it's uncatchable. You're not getting a PI. So not only are you not getting completions, you're not even getting the PIs called. So let's just say that it's hard to watch, and I get the good fortune of calling it, so it's going to be hard.
We'll miss you this week.
Right, we will miss you in Detroit. Mark Schlereth.
Yeah, hey, listen, I don't know whose Cheerios I pissed in, but anyhow, I can't wait.
Hey, how's that stinking good green chili of yours?
No, everything is good, man. As a matter of fact, hey, do yourselves a favor. if you get a chance, go to YouTube and check out the Stinkin' Truth podcast. But I did a breakdown on Chicago. I call it the Leftovers podcast on Chicago, Detroit. So if your listeners want to get some more in-depth stuff of some of what the coaches said and some of what the players said and kind of all the stuff that I didn't get to in the broadcast that I got to in the meetings, I just kind of dump it all there on the podcast, so it's kind of interesting.
That's awesome.
I love it. Mark Schlereth,
we love you, man.
Appreciate your time here in Detroit. Thanks so much. All the best to Daniel and the
guys.
family as well.
Appreciate
Thanks
you.
so much.
Always, Mark.
Thank you, man.
You
See
got
you,
it. You got it. The great Mark Schlereth, FOX NFL analyst, works the games with Adam Amin, 3-time Super Bowl champ.
He looks like he could play now.
Oh, I'm sure he could.
I told you I sit like right behind him at the ESPYs. I couldn't see over his shoulders.
He is a monster.
Guys, we'll get a break here. We'll come back. I want to updated Super Bowl odds. Let you know what those are. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, their 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
More Maz, less Stanford.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. Les Stanford. Let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale with Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, look no further than Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want. All GM brands now under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them. Hey, gang, welcome back. I want to get these updated Super Bowl odds on the screen.
Hey, before you do that, Ryan.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I just want to go back to what Mark Schlereth said.
Please.
He scares the daylights out of me because the way he was talking about the Denver Broncos and how they rush the passer almost every down. We better be ready, man. That offensive line better be ready. Jared Goff better be ready to throw the ball a lot quicker than he's been doing in the past. This is a team that's red hot, smart coach, knows what the Lions' weaknesses are, and will attack it, man. I know every coach does that, but Sean Payton has got a little extra something for us.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, last week I said I wanted to see Ben Johnson go up there and not be cute, kind of run the ball and establish it. That's what I wanted. This week, I want to see what do you have prepared? Because Ben Johnson's been watching film on this Broncos team for the past 2 weeks. They're not just playing him this week, but he's been watching film for the last 2 weeks. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? You see that they blitz. How can you get the quick step game going on? How can you get shotgun passing, quick step passing, so that you can catch them off guard? How can you keep them with their ears not pinned back? You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a good situation for Ben Johnson, especially off of last game. I think this is a good chance for Ben Johnson not to turn into, but to get back to the kind of offensive schemes that Mark Schlereth and Baldinger were talking about, how excited they were when they watched Lions offensive play, some of the most ingenious things that they have seen all year. He's got to get back to that. You know they're going to send the blitz. What are you going to do about it?
No doubt about it. Guys, let me get the updated Super Bowl odds for you. It is no secret that the San Francisco 49ers, I think, by all accounts, are the absolute best team in the NFL right now. And we're taking a look at it, plus 260. That means if you bet $10, you win $26. And they are the by far and away the favorite to come out of the NFC in the Super Bowl. And then you've got the Ravens as well. The Ravens are a second on this list.
If you see week 1 versus week 16, it's pretty different, except for the Lions. They're still identical from week 1 to now. So it's kind of, you get to see the differences here, like the Chiefs, how they have dropped down. So you're better off that you didn't bet the Chiefs early, but you want to like the Chiefs, you want to bet them now.
I didn't understand the graphic. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, week 1 to week 14. I guess I just didn't understand it. I see it now. Thank you for that.
It's all right. I printed it for you as well.
I know. I'm looking at it right now, but I didn't see the distinction. I just automatically looked AFC, NFC.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Just my eyes are just trained to do that. But this was the week 1 odds on the left, the week 14 odds at this point on the right. San Francisco went from plus 1,000 to plus 260.
Man, I would like to have had them at the beginning of the year.
If I was a betting man trying to just find some odds for fun to make a little bit of cash on that as the screen dropped down, I'll put some money on the Cowboys. I'll put some money on the Bills.
Yeah.
And
Jacksonville
and Dolphins. Like I would.
Dolphins.
I'm just for money wise.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacksonville just isn't it. It's something about Jacksonville that I do not like. Like whenever they're in big moments, they just don't seem to be the team. But I tell you what, that Buffalo bet, Ryan, like that's a bet right there.
Plus 1,500.
That's
plus 18.
1,800.
1,800.
God.
And you're talking about a team that's playing really well right now, and they could sneak it in and they're very much alive. They can be the wild card. Can you imagine the Kansas City Chiefs or insert for the Baltimore Ravens or insert number 1 seed having to play Josh Allen the way he's playing right now? I don't know how he's going to finish the season, but I wouldn't want that wild card slot.
$100 gets you 1,800.
This is real, and I've been a wild card spot. Like, teams don't want to face those wild cards, man. When we kind of limped in 2009, that Jets team, people didn't want to see us. We go and we whooped Cincinnati. San Diego's laughing because they were San Diego at the time. You whoop San Diego. You got the coach like, oh, shoot, now they're coming here. It's all about that energy. It's all about that momentum. If the Bills continue how they're playing right now, that's a team to keep an eye on.
I got a trivia question for you guys.
Okay.
Who was the first wild card team?
Pittsburgh.
To win the Super Bowl?
Pittsburgh.
Wrong.
No, that's not Pittsburgh. It was.
It's the first wild card team to win
the Super Bowl.
Well, they went 3 straight road games. That's the first time ever. No,
but they're not the first.
Not the first.
Oh, who?
Back in the early '80s.
Okay. Would it
Cincinnati Bengals?
No, Raiders.
No, Raiders. You got it. Jim Plunkett. They beat the Browns in a frozen tundra at Cleveland. Matter of fact, the Browns.
What year was that?
81 or 80.
Yeah,
81
playoff games.
Yeah, they won them all.
Really?
They took it down, and they beat the Eagles at the Superdome. They beat Dick
the
Vermeil. They made him
Dolphins too,
cry.
didn't they?
Huh.
No.
The Dolphins weren't a
No,
part
they
of
didn't get
faded.
it to play. But
But
that was the first wild card team ever. I know that because my dad and I rode them all the way to the Super Bowl.
Oh, let's
call it that way. Sammy Maz in his white T-shirt sitting on the couch there. We were rooting on the Raiders.
Gotta have a couple of dollars on it. All right, guys, we'll take a break. Come right back. It is a top 10.
It is
Thursday.
It is.
But first, a message from Swiss.
Very controversial one as well.
You have football on the brain like us. Of course you do. It's already been an amazing college and professional football season this year, and this is a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance as well. Shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance. They cover us here at WSN, and they should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com, or as always, give them a call at 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey gang, come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams at all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports Network on a sunny Thursday in the city of Detroit. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway, Pete Spivak, JB, Jeremy Bryant in the house as well. 1 hour in the books, 1 hour to go on this fine day.
That was a quick hour.
Absolutely. We got to move that camera there. All right, we're going to fix me. There we go. I don't think I can sit there. Yeah, too far away from the mic.
That's our Brady Bunch
Stop
look.
being so cute, man. Same thing I told Ben Johnson last Sunday. Stop being so cute.
Right, no doubt. Braylon, it is a Top 10 Thursday.
Yeah.
You say it is a controversial one.
It's controversial Thursday, I do believe, because I'm doing top 10 rankings in the NFL. When's the last time we did that?
A while.
A long time ago. I believe last time we did it, the Lions
like it.
were maybe 4, maybe 5 at the time. So it'd be interesting to see
Ain't that now?
it would be interesting to see where they are now. So I mean, I take into consideration it's not who has the best record. This is my assessment on who are the top teams in the NFL currently right now. And before you put the number 10 up, I would say honorable mention the Rams. I love the way the Rams are playing right now. I love like that game that they played against Lamar Jackson in Baltimore.
That was a great game.
Lamar Jackson is 16-1 against the NFC. He was almost 15-2.
Yeah.
The way Matt Stafford played, he looked good in there. Puka Nacua having an outstanding freshman campaign. And then Cooper Kupp came through with a touchdown. Karen Williams having a good year as well. So they're outside looking in at number 11. But number 10, I just talked on, it's the Buffalo Bills. I think they're hot right now. Josh Allen is coming to his own. Joe Brady now, the offensive coordinator since they got rid of Ken Dorsey. He's operating at a high level. And I think you've seen Josh Allen find some reserve, find some calm, and calm down. So I got the Buffalo Bills. Nobody wants to see them as a wild card in this.
So funny. Can I just make a point about this, Braylon?
Please.
There's 14 teams that make the playoffs in the NFL. Right now,
it's like 24 teams in contention.
Exactly. Right now, the Buffalo Bills are not one of those teams that is currently sitting in the postseason. Yet, I do agree with you. They are a top 10 team in the NFL. Kudos to you.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Coming in at number 9. You talked about them. It is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got a lot of things happening, including an ankle injury, non-injury, hampering situation with Trevor Lawrence. But they're still 8-5, man.
He still plays, man.
He still plays.
Hasn't missed a start.
Three touchdowns when we didn't think he was going to play. Almost over 300 yards. I mean, the guy, one thing about him you can say, number 16 comes to play every game. So with that being said, I have them at number 9. Coming in number 8. It is your Detroit Lions. We'll see who's in front of them. You'll tell me if you agree or disagree. But I just think based on how they're playing right now, coming off 2 losses, especially the way the losses look, Ryan, you've outlined that third quarter. That third quarter has been very destructive for the Detroit Lions offense, at least. So I think right now 8 is a good spot for them. They're still 9-4. They still got a lot to play for. But 8 is as high as they go currently constructed.
8 is enough.
8 is good enough for you guys?
Absolutely.
You have no problem with that?
So far, so good.
All righty then. Coming in at number 7, one of my former teams. And before everybody goes crazy and say, oh, you got the old man Flacco, you talked about it with the Broncos, how they're winning. They got the best defense in the league. They got Myles Garrett, who could be the non-quarterback to win an award the way he's played. And then Joe Flacco comes in and he gives these guys life. Njoku, I haven't heard Njoku's name like this since Baker Mayfield was the quarterback. 2 touchdowns, 94 yards. Amari Cooper will be better this week. Kareem Hunt running the ball. An offensive line that's still damn good. One of the best in the NFL. Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl MVP. So I got the Cleveland Browns at 7 right now. Number 2 in their division. Moving to 6. It's Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, at the end of the day, with all the drops and everything else, who is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, and is he healthy? They got a lot going on, a lot of imploding, but they catch a couple passes, and they could easily be number 1 on this list. Number 2.
There are actually 2 back-to-back penalties, non-calls away from being 10-3.
100%.
The pass interference penalty that was not called late in the game against Valdez-Scantling, I think it was. That would have set up a game-winning touchdown, and then the touchdown that was taken away last week against the Bills. You're absolutely right. They're 2 non-calls away from being a 1 seed.
By the way, do you know how many things I have seen with guys lined up offside since that call?
By the way, did you see Dan Orlovsky, what he did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he highlighted.
Tony was lined up offsides every play.
Except they caught him on the last one.
I don't know if they caught him.
Well, they called it on the last one.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps talking about that, and the funniest thing I heard about that was that's like robbing 5 banks. That's like robbing 5 banks.
But returning to the scene of the crime.
And getting caught on the 6th one, be like, well, you didn't stop me the first 5 times, but you were still robbing banks.
I get it.
What you're doing was still illegal.
Yes.
Like, so at the end of the day.
But no one told him it was illegal.
Well, maybe if you talk to the referee, you find out. Like, that is receiver 101.
He did point in that video. It
once.
Well, on the penalty.
On the one at the end?
He did. The sideline video. Andy Reid said he didn't look. He looks to the sidelines and goes like this.
Does he point or does he look? Because there's a difference.
He pointed to the official. The official did not look back. It almost was like he didn't wait for the official to tell him anything, though.
Let me ask you this, Bray. When you're lining up on the line of scrimmage, why even push it? Why not take a half a step back to play it safe?
All you do is communicate with the ref.
But I'm just saying.
Maz. No. I'm not going to let you do that this time. I'm going to speak as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So if anybody should be on his team, it should be me. Team wideout. Your job that you get paid, whatever it is in your contract that you get paid, is to do your job. His job is wide receiver when he goes to the line of scrimmage. He say, hey, ref, I'm okay. Boom, that took 0.2 seconds. I'm good. Now I can go about my business. If you try to edge it yourself and figure out.
Why do you got to ask when you see the freaking ball? Just put your foot back an inch.
Because you don't know if he's going to call you yet or not. If you just talk to the ref, how much does it take to go out there every play that you need to be on and say, hey, ref, I'm good, all right, thank you for checking in.
But I don't need to ask the ref.
But
I'm not blind.
But obviously you do need to ask the ref because he didn't and he got the penalty for it and it cost the team a victory.
Every play, Maz, you got to ask the ref.
That's what the game is. That's what I was taught. That's what I did. I never had any penalties for being lined up offside. But you know what? I always check with the ref.
Even in high school, you got to check with the ref every play.
Even in Little League.
Yeah.
Little League, you got to check with the ref. Hey,
and
ref.
Then, you got the fist.
Like, is that
you know
so
what I mean?
hard? I don't have to play quarterback where I got to worry about post-snap, pre-snap, what the linebackers doing, the rotation. Oh, they went on this side. Oh, they dropped 2 to this side. They turned that to 4. I don't have to worry about all that stuff. All I got to worry about, am I on? Am I not on? And is it cover 2 or is it man? The fact that that's all I got to worry about, I'm not complaining on that one.
You see that official give him the fist? you know you're good.
100%.
You gave him the fist.
But I do understand where Maz is coming from because it didn't work last year when it happened. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. How's the first 5 looking? The bottom
I like
5?
it. Buffalo, Jacksonville, Detroit, Cleveland, and Kansas City.
I'm surprised KC is that low. I can't wait to see the 5.
Wait, can I guess the teams we have left? We've got Baltimore, Miami left. We've got Dallas, San Francisco, Philadelphia left.
Yep.
What order will those teams be in? And is there a surprise team in there?
Would you like to guess, or you want to lay it out?
Okay, yeah.
Go
Let
ahead,
me
go
guess.
for it.
Okay, let me guess. I will guess number 5 would be Miami.
Maz? Oh, there it is.
I was going to agree.
Okay, well, good. Miami Dolphins number 5. They lost the game last week against the Tennessee Titans. We all know if Tua plays, if Tariq plays the whole game, they would have blown Tennessee out. They had a couple ones they didn't get as well. But the question still remains, can they beat the main team? Can you beat a good team? And that's the thing that remains for the Miami Dolphins. That's why with a record of 9-4, they're 5 and not any higher. Who is number 4?
Maz, you got this one?
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Philly.
Yep, that's what I got. Philadelphia Eagles.
Do you guys think you know me or something?
I
do.
You guys think you know me?
I do.
Philadelphia Eagles, they're still tied for the best record in the NFL. They're 10-3. They've operated. Look, they're just
5 seed. How about that?
They're in a situation where they are tired, they're beat up, they're beat down. But guess what? You look at their schedule for the rest of the season. They got an easy schedule. Yeah. They'll finally get a chance to relax a little bit, get Jalen Hurts' knee feeling good. He and AJ get on the same page. Because AJ Brown he's not in a good space right now. When you watch him, he doesn't seem to have that same energy as early on. He's fun. Like, he's one of the strongest guys in the league, pound for pound. Not wide receiver, any position. He's getting guys taking the ball from him like Stephon Gilmore. Something's not right. But they got a couple games to get back right. All right, Ryan, it's your turn.
Let me ask, but don't reveal it yet, Pete. We know number 1 is San Francisco. Right? Should we put number 1 on this? Is it not? No, we can't. Never mind. No. Number 1 has got to be San Francisco. So you're coming down to Baltimore and Dallas.
I know what it is.
I'm going to say Dallas is 3. Maz?
I'm saying Baltimore is 3.
Braylon?
Put it up there, Pete. The Baltimore Ravens are 3, and the reason why I cannot be blinded to what the Dallas Cowboys have done over the stretch. I can't be blinded to how Dak played in Philly when if he's 1 inch to the left, it's a 2-point conversion. They win that game, and what they've done and how they beat the teams. You saw what they did to the Eagles. You've seen what they did to every team and how well they played. I appreciate that for having my back, Ryan Ermanni. You can't disrespect that. With that said, those guys are right there, man. They're neck and neck. I just think what it is you trust the Dallas Cowboys offense more than you trust the Baltimore Ravens offense. Now, defensive-wise, we know that the second best defense in the league is the Baltimore Ravens, only second to the 49ers.
I'll tell you what, if these two teams played, whoever was the home team would win that game.
You know what, Maz?
Yep.
That's a great. But at the same time, we just watched the Rams team that's not nearly as good as the Cowboys go in there and go to overtime.
Yeah.
So
in the slop.
100%. But the Baltimore Ravens, they got Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is finishing the season, knock on wood. I shouldn't have said that out loud. But he's playing extremely well. They are exactly where they want to be, and they thought they would be going to the season.
Boy, that Zay Flowers is something,
fast
too, by
as
the
hell.
way.
They're fast as hell.
So now
what about OBJ?
Yeah, well, I mean,
man,
he's reborn.
I didn't think he was worth $15 million. Look at me eating my crow.
So that means we know that 2 is Dallas and 1 is San Francisco.
2 is definitely Dallas.
Yeah.
We've talked about them enough. Mike McCarthy, after that ass whooping against the 49ers, he said, look, I can't make him a game manager. I just gotta let it go. He's let it fly, and the offense has looked so much better ever since that move. And you gotta give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit. I think he could be a guy that could be coach of the year.
Wow.
Number 1, you know what it is. These ladies are looking very confused. San Francisco 49ers. And we don't have to say anything about that. The only thing is Brock Purdy a legit MVP candidate? That's the only real question.
Right. Well,
look at those gorgeous uniforms.
So what is this? If we were grading this list, I think
it's a great list. I don't think you left anybody out of here either, Bray. I mean, you're talking about teams that did not make the cut, okay? Teams that did not make the cut.
Texans,
Pittsburgh,
Colts.
Indianapolis, Houston.
Nope.
Minnesota, Green Bay, Rams. I think you nailed it.
And he said Rams are right on the cusp.
And the Rams would have been the team on the cusp. And if Green Bay had won, I think if Green Bay would have won, I could have put the Green Bay 10 and Bills 11 and then Rams 12.
Let's compare it to Pro Football Talks.
Okay.
Top teams. Pete, put up the power rankings for Pro Football Talk.
They better not copy my swag, man. See, they out here.
All right, hold on.
I want to see how far off they are. I don't think it's very far.
So the Pro Football Talk has 49ers. You have 49ers.
Yep.
2, they have the Ravens. You have Dallas.
Okay.
So 3, they have the Cowboys. You have Baltimore.
So flip-flop.
4, they have the Eagles. You have the Eagles. 5, they have the Dolphins. You have the Dolphins.
Look at you.
6, they have Buffalo. You have Kansas City.
I'm glad
7,
they do.
They have Kansas City. You have Cleveland. They have Cleveland 9th. You have Detroit 8th. They have Detroit 8th.
Ooh. They like my list.
10th now.
You have Jacksonville 9th. They have it 10th. So they too
we got the same
have
10
the same
teams.
10.
Okay.
Just in a couple of different spots.
And they have the Texans at 11. So they got the Rams down a little bit further.
Yeah, but I don't have the Texans because of the injury to Tank
Correct.
Dell and then C.J. Stroud with the concussion protocol and that Rams. Yeah, all right, cool. Hey, you know what?
Call
Then maybe I
NBC.
did
Tell them to
Yep,
get you
there
on
you
there.
go.
Nah, the
You're
hell
just
with
as
him.
good as them.
Pro Football
I
Braylon.
like Woodward Sports.
Yeah.
I'm
Guys,
a Woodward Sports kind of guy.
That's right. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go around the NFL with Tom Mazaway. But first, a message from Feldman.
Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer with 18 locations. There's a location near you. It's probably one in your backyard. All you got to do is go to feldmanauto.com. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience, and it's called the Feldman Advantage. So do yourself a favor and take advantage.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official outdoor equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-grown, family-owned bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Company has it all. You could buy it, you could rent it, all for 0% financing, delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com. We want to thank their partnership. We want to thank all of our partners here on Woodward Sports. We absolutely appreciate you, and we certainly couldn't do what we do without you. And I always say this, if you're in the market for, an alarm company, go to Guardian Alarm. If you're in the market for a house, go through Mark White.
Generators.
Outdoor
equipment.
You need a generator. Go to Outdoor Equipment. You need a car. Go to Les Stanford. Go to Feldman. You get some stuff at Premier Pet Supply, Premier Pet. Eat at Skinny Butcher. The more you do that, the more it helps us.
Make sure you tell them you heard it on Woodward.
Absolutely,
you watched it on Woodward.
No
Sports.
doubt about that. We just want to thank our sponsors again. So Tom Mazaway, let's go around the NFL.
All right, guys, it is Thursday. So that means it's Thursday night football on Prime tonight. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit. It is the Raiders hosting the Chargers tonight in Vegas.
We haven't talked about this at all.
Not at all.
I love Thursday night football.
I mean, how sick are you of watching the Chargers?
I'm sick of it.
They're jamming them down our throats again. No Justin Herbert. They got some guy named Easton Stick as the quarterback. Pick. So we'll see how Stick does. We like Stick here. Right. We'll see how Stick does in Vegas tonight. I think the Chargers are actually getting 3 from the
Vegas Raiders are -3.
Yes.
Should Vegas be
favor over anybody?
Yeah.
No.
It could be Jimmy Garoppolo tonight.
It could be, or it could be Brian Hoyer, the third-string quarterback, because Aiden O'Connell hasn't really done much for the Raiders.
Over under 34.5.
Ooh, that's low. Holy crow, that's low. Indoors?
Oof.
Listen to Maz over. That was fun. You're very out of pocket over there, man. But it's all good. I get you back in the game. The reason why is because the Chargers and it's Brandon Staley. It's the Chargers. It's the Raiders and Chargers. You know Brandon Staley is mentally checked out. You know Justin Herbert is hurt. This team has not played anywhere near up to expectation. I think when Antonio Pierce, you got a team that they want to play for him. They may not be a good team, but they're going to play for him. So I think they should be favored.
Hey, the NFL is looking into changing some rules, guys. They got that drop. What do they call that? The drop hip?
The hip tackle.
The hip tackle. What exactly is that?
The hip drop.
You pull like you're sitting down and you pull someone down. Is that
so? You got a guy from and you like drop your weight.
Okay.
Like you sit on them.
Got it.
Like he's running away from you and you just fall. Like
they're looking at that. They're also looking at when an offense fumbles the ball out of the end zone.
Yes.
And they lose the ball to the other team.
Yes.
They're looking at They're looking at changing
ball goes out
that
the
rule.
1 yard line.
Yeah, I don't know where they would put it, but it would keep the offense would keep the ball.
Going back to the drop tackle play, all you gotta do is watch a major offensive player almost get hurt and know that somehow they'll change that rule. This has changed because of Tyreek Hill on the sideline this past game. Like, that's what the drop hip thing is for.
It's been a few times this year.
It's true, but they didn't say anything. He said it was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
The guy that's the most explosive player in the NFL. But this play right here, I've never liked the fact that if you fumble, it goes out of the end zone. Like you lose the football.
You lose it.
I love football like you do. I like things that make sense. That one never made sense.
Maybe they put it back on the 20, and you get the offense gets it there.
I'm cool with that.
I am too.
I'm definitely cool with that. You don't deserve to keep it at the 1.
No,
like, you fumbled and it went out of the end zone.
Penalize
or it went out of bounds.
Put it on the 20.
Back to at least the 10, like maybe at 20, maybe the 20. But yes, I like this rule.
And here's the one I'm most excited about: the kickoff rule, which has now just become a ceremony. Troy Vincent, one of the rules guys in the NFL, said it's literally a ceremony. No one is returning kicks anymore. Very few at that. So they're going to look at that. Thank God, because I was just going to say, don't even kick it off anymore. Just give the ball at the 20 or 25-yard line, wherever the hell you want to give it the ball. Change it. I want to see kick returns. I do. Do what the XFL does. You remember that rule?
No, what do they do?
They kick it, and the line has to wait.
Oh, yeah.
Once the guy gets the ball, you attack.
Right.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Really good.
I mean, I grew up, that was a major part of the game, like the kick return, like in Little League and then in high school and then in college, then in the NFL. I mean, without the kick return, legends wouldn't be born, like Mel Gray or Desmond Howard or
Billy White Shoes
or Devin Hester or Josh Cribbs.
Devin Hester.
Josh Cribbs, who I played with, he has 13 touchdowns. Cordell Patterson, who's playing running back now for the Falcons.
Yeah, I think he's still with Atlanta.
He's a guy that has over 10 returns, like legends like that.
Right.
The X-Man in Dante Hall. So I miss Dante Hall, the Kansas City Chiefs. So I missed that play because I remember legends being born on special teams.
Amen.
You may not be a legend on offense and defense, but you're a legend in the kick return and punt return game.
Sit tight. More NFL. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Feldman.
Just did Feldman.
No. Hamlin Pub.
Oh, Hamlin.
Sorry, I got X on my
Hamlin Pub is great. What a great place.
My God.
Hey, have you ever wanted a bar where you're a regular? We have just the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone's a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on a Thursday, that would be tonight, or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's Maz for Jack Labrador, your brand new game. Forget rock, paper, scissors. Three buddies in Detroit in a cold winter basement came up with this new game, and look at this thing. It's gorgeous. Who doesn't like cards? Who doesn't want to get a deck of cards in their Christmas stocking? A deck of cards, man. Let me tell you about this game. It's got two new symbols in this game. So you play rock, paper, scissors, add 2 new symbols. Once you go Jack, you will never go back. 1 deck of cards, 3 new games of non-stop action. It's the perfect no-brainer stocking stuffer for all ages. Click on that QR code, guys, or just go to the web. You know how to do it. JackLabrador.com for your new deck.
That Labrador.
Labrador.
Labrador. Labrador.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
And you get the 3-point play in there, too, you know.
How about that?
If, you know, you throw.
Maybe one day we'll play it on the air.
Yeah, we got you.
Somebody throws this, and then you throw that, and then you get the 3 points.
3 points. That's right. Oh, it's so great. I love it. Basically, rock, paper, scissors on steroids.
Exactly.
Love it.
With cards.
Yeah, with cards. And you can do multiple guys.
That's it.
Or gals, however you want to do it. Pause. P.S. So,
whoa there.
Lydia, who helps manage Birmingham Roast, which is in the same building as us.
We love Lydia.
We love Lydia. She's great. She made homemade chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, no.
It is. They are so good. It is like. I'm trying to think of an analogy.
Crack.
It's like crack. I can't stop.
Yeah.
It.
You didn't bring me in one.
No, I ate it.
Are there any left?
Yeah, there are a couple out there left.
Just a couple?
I had 2. I had 1 on my way to go get some water, and then I was like, "Damn!"
I can't believe
and came
you didn't bring me
right
one.
by it. No, I'm not going to take the plate. You don't want my hands.
I
to
don't care. I'm not like
don't
you.
care. I wouldn't want you to grab your paws and be like, "Here's a cookie."
I'm not scared of germs. Bring it.
Famous last words. We put that on the tombstone. I'm not scared of germs.
Oh my gosh. Fair enough. Bray, you good over there?
I'm scared of germs.
Same.
I got some more NFL goodies for you guys.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
like
Cam Newton's not scared of anybody either. I remember yesterday.
GJ maybe.
Yesterday we told you he went on a podcast and discussed game managing quarterbacks, and one of them
he was right though.
Was Jared Goff. I have the audio.
He was right.
Let's go.
Lamar
Cam
Jackson,
Newton.
obviously Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, but Brock, they're not winning because of him.
He's not turning the ball over.
He's managing the game. And if we were to put that in its own right as game managers, Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and really Dak Prescott. These are game managers. They're not difference makers.
And when you say game manager, I'm not asking you to go out and win the game. I'm just asking you not to lose.
Not to lose the game. Listen, motherfucker, I don't give a damn what you do. You don't have to score every time. You just don't have to throw a pick every time either. If we're going to really call a spade, a game manager is different than a game changer.
I do want to make an apology for the language.
Oops.
It got by us. I
Sorry.
don't like that kind of language.
How could you
Unless
do
it's with
that
Jim
to us,
Leyland.
Cam? Bad boy. Bray, you're going to tell me Dak Prescott is a game manager now?
No, what I'm going to tell you is everybody all of a sudden forgot that before the season, people were out on Dak Prescott, including you, including me.
I think the jury's still out.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
He's blossomed this
last year, 15 interceptions in 10 games. Nobody wanted Dak Prescott. The year before that. Like, everybody has called Dak Prescott. He's not it. He was a waste of $50 million a year. Now, all of a sudden, he has 4 good games, and Cam Newton's wrong. Like, he is absolutely correct with what he's saying. This is an instance, though, where it's the person delivering the information and how you deliver it. A lot of people don't like Cam Newton. It's a real thing. But he's not necessarily far off the mark in terms of what he was saying. And then it also gets to the point. Take that Dak Prescott and put him on that 2015 Carolina Panthers team. Are they going to the Super Bowl? Hell no, they're not. Put any one of those quarterbacks that he named on those Carolina Panthers team, they're not. Now, where does it come from? It's a guy that's jaded. It's a guy that's pissed off of how his career ended. It's a guy that doesn't like that he was a bigger game changer than these guys, but they get a lot of love. And that part I don't agree with because he's a hater right now. Like, he's pointing out things on purpose because he's pissed. And I get it. He has a right to be to some extent, but he's absolutely right. He was a game changer. People may not like him, but you go back and look at that 5-year run that he had. He was a game changer. He was must-see TV, and he didn't have a running back that went to the Pro Bowl, didn't have a wide receiver that went to the Pro Bowl, and he had a tight end. He had a damn good tight end in Greg Olsen. So he's right about game changers and game managers, but newsflash, you got 3 game changers in the NFL. You got Josh Allen. He F's up a lot, but he's a game changer. You got the game changer in Patrick Mahomes, and then you got Jalen Hurts, who's having a damn hard trouble. He's having a tough time right now. So, and Lamar Jackson, excuse me. There's only a couple game changers. Not like you got 4. Everybody to some extent is a game manager. So
Cam was a monster. He was Superman. He was the running back and the wide receiver. He did it all. That's why he didn't last long in the NFL.
This is true.
Because he took a beating, that guy. But he got his team to a Super Bowl.
I mean, I don't know if the quarterbacks would find offense to this, but I almost feel like it is slightly offensive to a quarterback to be called a game manager. Like, for instance, just go back and look at Jared Goff 2 weeks ago against the Saints. That drive where that defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Right.
Jared Goff's ability to, with precision passes.
Yep.
And the threading the needle to Josh Reynolds on 3rd down. Yes, Reynolds absolutely had to make a play, but like it was in one spot where Josh Reynolds could catch it. That is making a play to win a game.
He made one play.
Well, I mean, he made one play. I mean, that's just the one that I think of right now at the end of the game. At the end of the game, but offense, like.
But you answered your own question in that game. Look when everything was perfect for Jared Goff in the beginning of that game. Frank Ragnow's healthy. Everything's perfect. Defense is playing good. Look at the first quarter. 21-zip. Ass kicking.
Yeah.
Get rid of Frank Ragnow. Things change up a little bit. Now things aren't perfect, and then it's a tough shoot for Jared Goff the rest of the game. And then he did make a play in there, but
I think accuracy. If you're a quarterback with precision accuracy, maybe not have the big arm or the quick feet, but if accuracy is your main weapon, you're called a game manager. And I think there's a little bit of a derogatory term there for a quarterback. I don't know. I just think that, I think Brad Johnson was a game manager.
Exactly,
perhaps,
and you know what? He's a Super Bowl winning champ that was proud to be a game manager. I don't think it's disrespectful. Jeff Hostetler definitely was a game manager. Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Rex Grossman got his team to a Super Bowl.
This is very true. He's definitely a game manager. So I think over time, I think you're right, though. It has become something of a derogatory thing, But I think if we look at it this way, there's only 3 to 4 game changers every year at quarterback.
Right.
So everybody is a game manager to some extent. But once that game manager tag came in, it did cause the lines to get fretted. Are you this or are you that?
We've got to add a category. Game losers. Yeah. You get a quarterback out there turning the ball over 3-4 times a game, you're a game loser.
Yes,
you lose games for your team.
Don't forget, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Chris Chandler took the Falcons
nicest guy
to
in the
the
world,
Super
Trent
Bowl.
Dilfer.
Hey,
he's
there's a lot of guys out there that weren't the best. Billy Kilmer for the Redskins.
Speaking
Super
of that,
Bowl.
and that's what I also go back to Patrick Mahomes. Like, you got to be a little rougher in terms of the way in which you talk to your wide receivers and things like that, and not letting them off the. Trent Dilfer effing yelled at me my rookie year, and you know what I had to do, Ryan Ermanni? I had to sit there and say nothing.
Take it.
Pause. But I had to. I had to legitimately listen to him, knowing he was the elder, knowing he was a quarterback. Now, when we got in the locker room, I was able to share what I felt, but that's just how it was. Your mindset was like, okay, we can. And then you get in the locker room, you have it out, though. But he's got to say something to his guys because Travis Kelce doubling down. I mean, I know you're going to get to that, so I don't want to steal your thunder, but I can't wait to talk about that.
Got some more for you.
You got one more, Maz, and then we'll take a break.
Well, I got a story that we've talked about in the past, and it's about a guy that used to punt briefly for the Buffalo Bills. His name is Matt Araiza. He was called the Punt God. And he got caught up, and supposedly he was involved in a gang rape. At least a woman accused him of doing that until they proved he wasn't even there at that point. Well, since then, that woman has now dropped all charges against Matt Araiza, and he's been trying to defend himself for the past 3 years, and he's hoping that people will forgive him and give him another chance to play in the NFL.
Forgive him for what?
That's what I was going to say.
But it just sucks.
Right.
Like, this is the thing with allegations. They're so damning. Because everybody, when the allegation comes out, Ryan, you know exactly what I'm about to say. It's front page. It's the main headline. It's right here. But the retraction is on page 69 at the very bottom in the right corner. Like, nobody, as soon as you hear his name, you instantly think a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It just sucks.
Yeah. Feel terrible for that guy.
Happens a lot, too. Happens a lot.
I'd sue the Buffalo Bills.
That is part of. He had a lawsuit against the accuser
she ain't
as
got no
well.
money. I ain't suing her.
Still for the, righteousness of that.
Righteousness don't buy milk and eggs.
Well, that's true, no doubt. Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, I want to get into this Draymond Green suspension indefinitely, and we'll talk Pistons as well. 21 in a row. Consecutive losses.
They got company,
though.
franchise
away.
They got company, and it's historic.
But first, a message from
who's winning?
Planet Fitness. That's the next time they might have a chance to win a game.
That is very
Victor
true.
put 50
Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this just for $10 a month.
Only $10.
With no commitment. Yes, $10 a month. Now remember, no matter where you are, there's always a Planet Fitness nearby, with more than 50 in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. So check out your local Planet Fitness today to join, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Hey, when it comes to your pet, do not settle. Don't do it. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply, hands down Michigan's best pet store, family owned and operated for over 30 years. They got 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and curbside delivery as well. Don't settle. Give your pet the best. PremierPetSupply.com is your place.
One of the biggest stories nationally in sports today is that of Draymond Green. He has been suspended indefinitely by the league office. That suspension, by the way, handed down by Joe Dumars, who is the disciplinarian in chief of the NBA. But Draymond Green suspended indefinitely, and he was suspended 5 games back in November for an altercation with Rudy Gobert, where he had him in a headlock. This is the 6th time that he has been suspended. And the league office and Joe Dumars said his history was absolutely taken into consideration when it came to this indefinite suspension. There is no word on what needs to be done or the parameters of getting back into the league. He and his representation was supposed to meet with Joe Dumars, Adam Silver in the league office today. But not really sure where to go with this one other than Draymond Green. The extra stuff on the court, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. The league is taking a strong stance here and saying no more.
So Joe Dumars talked to ESPN today, and they actually are talking to later on today, talking about Draymond, Joe Dumars, the NBA, Adam Silver, and then also Colin Cowherd talked to Draymond Green because, you know, they partner up. His podcast is actually on Colin's network. So he basically said, and they said the same things. He is an amazing individual. He's a nice guy, remorseful, the whole 9 yards. They both told a good story, and I actually believe them. But the problem is exactly what I said yesterday, Ryan, and this is what happened. When Nurkic was at the podium afterwards, and he said these words, it became a bigger deal. If Nurkic goes to the podium and he said, look, man, it's a basketball game, and things happen, you know, tempers flare up, you know, no harm, no foul. Well, now because of how Nurkic acted, they can downplay it now again, too. And this is Draymond from the Golden State Warriors. They could have downplayed it. But when Nurkic goes out there and says, hey, look, man, I don't know what's going on with bro, but whatever it is, it's not basketball. Like, it's something to do, not basketball at all. That's a deeper look. KD goes out there and he talks about, this isn't the Draymond Green that I know. And, they had their spat. They had their deal. What this is, and we saw it when it happened. We saw it exactly when it happened around the time as well. When they played against the Celtics, and Draymond was extra pedestrian. When you now saw that they weren't able to hide him, not being able to score, not being able to pass, kind of being out the loop, getting embarrassed a little bit by the Celtics team, it passed him by in that moment. And you saw it. And he's been holding and fighting and scrapping and scraping to get back to a point where he once was, and it's over. And it's over for him.
Didn't he get a contract break?
He did. 4 years, $100 million. But that contract is because I have helped get 4 championships over the past 10 years. So it's like Miguel Cabrera. When he got his big deal, what was he getting paid for? Was he getting paid for the home runs he was hitting currently, or was he getting paid for everything that he had done prior?
No, it's past.
So remember the jokes of Draymond in that playoffs when he couldn't score a point, when he couldn't make a three, he was turning over the ball, and they won a championship in spite of him. Remember the Jordan Poole thing? What do you think Jordan Poole was saying when he was cracking jokes to get knocked out? Man, that's why you trash. That's why you ain't got it no more. That's why you're not like that. That all is the same thing. It's a crisis when he's realizing, I'm not it no more. People are laughing about me. My teammates don't think I'm good. I got to knock him out real quick. All this stems when he was not good, and I'm telling the truth. It all stems from the finals. And now you got Draymond out there. He's just an angry individual. So now he's got to do what he does, which is the goon role, which is the only thing they really have him for now. Now he's got to take that up a notch. Now he's angry. He's a mad individual, and I'm glad that they did this in terms of just, like, people need anger management. I need anger management. So I definitely understand that. But I think it started when he was just useless in that NBA championship. And then Jordan Poole cracked jokes. He had to knock Jordan Poole out. Then last year, how they got railroaded in the playoffs last year against Like the Beam. You know, almost essentially, and then the athletes did lose to the Lakers, but I think it just stems from him no longer being the guy that's going to make the All-Star game, being a guy that actually might come off the bench. I think that's what it really is, to be honest. I think it's what it boils down to.
He needs to sit out 25 games at least, minimum. 25. That's what they gave Ja Morant. And I know it's a different situation.
Nah, man, 25 is too many. Ja Morant, like, with Ja Morant and the guns.
This is the sixth time, man.
I understand, you're right. But at the end of the day, you can't do this now. You know why? Because you didn't say anything after the second time or the third time.
Well, they are talking about roughly a 20-game suspension.
I understand.
That is like.
But that's not, and I disagree with that because at the end of the day, when Draymond's been doing this, where were the Warriors? Where was the front office with the Warriors? Say, hey, look, man, that's not how we conduct things here. That's not how we conduct business here. No, you didn't say anything because guess what he is? The enforcer. That's just Draymond being Draymond. That's what they've been saying. Now, all of a sudden, it's not Draymond being Draymond. It's Draymond hurting the league. Look, I'm all for 10 games. I'm all for whatever this indefinite is because it's not a game situation. It's more so a time period situation. But he can't get 25 games when 25 games was given to an individual that was representing guns, that was maybe adding some harm to young individuals that aren't smart enough to know that he's capping, as they say, and guys could go out here and hurt themselves, or kids can go play with guns, and the worst could happen. This is a guy that is a great father, a great person off the court, at least. He's a great individual. He's going through some stuff right now. I think I like the indefinite. Get him some therapist, some anger management, and see what comes from that. But 25 games, I'm not digging in somebody's pocket that many games for someone that is well-liked, someone is respected, and someone at the end of the day plays hard. But you guys created this monster. It was always Draymond being Draymond. Warriors never said anything. They're at fault as well. The NBA never said anything. When
the Warriors have never sat him down?
No, except punching Draymond, except for punching Jordan Poole, and that wasn't even during the season. It was an off-season. Like when he stepped on Sabonis' chest last year in the playoffs, why didn't Adam Silver suspend him for the rest of the series?
Yeah.
They've never done that because they always care about the money.
But they suspended him against the stinking Cavs and let LeBron win that championship.
Exactly, because it was who?
LeBron
James.
Yep.
So that's why
they have selective hearing.
Everybody's at fault here. And that's why I say it would be kind of criminal to give him 25 games considering the Warriors are at fault. Where are the other guys on the team? Like Steph Curry. Can you say something?
Well, here's what Steve Kerr said. Steve Kerr said he took it too far. Draymond was wrong. He knows that. It was a bad look. And 5 games were deserved back in the suspension earlier. He called these actions inexcusable. That's what he said about this. The sharpest criticism came from Kerr, publicly anyway, called this inexcusable. And so I'm wondering what happens with Draymond Green. Because this isn't about just an indefinite suspension and then, 10 games from now, 15 games from now, 20 games from now, you kiss and make up. What is going to be required? Like, will he just sit out, or will he sit out and seek help for whatever? Even if it is, hey, I don't got it no more. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm having a hard time as a professional athlete, not being able to do what I once was able to do. Like that is hard too for an athlete. That is hard for people that get older.
Of course.
for at any level of business. Maybe you can't do what you
play-by-play guys.
Play-by-play.
What do you think
guys.
Al Michaels is sitting out
Roofers.
for?
You think a freaking roofer made his entire living like climbing on ladders and getting on roofs, can't do it anymore. Like we get older, things decline, and people struggle with that mentally. I'm not saying that that's what this is with Draymond Green. What I'm saying is he going to sit out, or is he going to sit out and get help?
So the good news is Joe Dumars talked about that as well. He said part of this process is, if you notice, we didn't say games, we said indefinite, because the process is which is going to be another thing that's going to actually come back and piss everybody else off. But he said, we're getting Draymond the help he needs. This is an opportunity for Draymond Green to get healthy. This is an opportunity for us to see how the process works. So they're definitely going to have him see somebody. But what I mean by this could get interesting, Ryan, is if it's indefinite and you're working on how somebody feels and how somebody feels talking to somebody. Remember when John Morant, the very first suspension, if you will, remember he went to Florida, he went to talk to somebody, he came back and changed, man. He only missed like 4 games. So therein lies the question. They don't play every day. So if Draymond was to, let's say, be out 2 weeks, see a therapist for 2 weeks and come back, how many games they play a week? 3? So that's 6 at most. So I don't think it's going to be 20 or 15. I think it's going to be a time period. And I think they're going to try to do it in such a way where it's like maybe he does 3 weeks, and 3 weeks is 9 to 10 games.
I think he comes back at the end of January, early February. So really when it comes down to it, a month and a half.
So come back after All-Star break? Or
Is
right
that-
before?
I don't even know.
All-Star break is usually Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's February.
After the All-Star
You just
break.
like always.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's how you know. Yeah,
After the All-Star break.
Okay. Our
birthdays.
Yeah. That's what I think he's
You know
gonna
how
come
many, you
back.
know how much money that is?
Yeah, it's if it's over 20 games, it's $202,000 per game. If it's under 20 games, it's like $194,000 a game.
Okay, so so
That's
$4 million.
That's a lot of bread.
Yeah.
So $4 million.
Right.
$4 million for having him be a goon, which you guys have allowed now for the better part of his whole career. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta watch the games, because $4 million is a lot.
Let's talk some Pistons and Spurs next.
Do we have to?
And Mass is going to give you a winner to start your week out the right way.
Yeah.
Do we have to talk Pistons?
I'm red hot.
Oh, yeah, red hot.
Red hot.
But first, a message from Mark White.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Yeah, baby. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242. Or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, Mark White, call them today, 248-290-8242, and make your home buying dreams come true.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
All right, now join Detroit Lions as well as Long Drink and Bullseye Event Group Company for Lions VIP tailgate. Get your tickets today at bullseyeeventgroup.com. It's a fun party. It is the party. And this week, it's on a Saturday, which means you don't have to work on Sunday. Party starts at 5:30. Get your tickets online. It goes to 7:30. Woodward Sports. We will be down there at Eastern Market, Shed 5. It's going to be all the way live. Come down, have a good time, hang out on the desk, hang out on the set. You never know who will be there. Tom Mazza will be in the building. That's right. You never know. I might stop by as well. Lions VIP tailgate. See you Saturday.
It is crazy to think that the Pistons probably will not have an opportunity to win a game until January 10th. It's a Wednesday night at Little Caesars Arena.
They're going to steal one here.
When they play the San Antonio Spurs.
And Victor drops 50. They're going to steal one here.
They lost 21 in a row.
They got to win one in December. They got to.
I mean, okay, let me tell you. Who are they going to beat, Maz? At Philadelphia.
That's no.
At Milwaukee.
That's very no.
At Atlanta.
Giannis 64 last night. At Atlanta, that's a no.
You see they stole the ball?
I did.
Hey,
Tyrese Halliburton stole the ball.
Utah.
Dirty dogs.
Utah's here. You got a shot. There's your shot. Is that on Festivus, the 23rd?
It is on Thursday, December 21st.
The 21st. That's the game.
Why do you like you? Well, you think they got an opportunity to beat Utah?
They could beat Utah. Utah's what do they won? 7, 8 games?
Yeah. Utah's 8-16.
There you go. They could beat Utah. Then again, they could have beaten Memphis. They had them for 3 quarters.
Okay, so if they don't beat Utah, then they got a home and home with Brooklyn.
Well, Brooklyn's not that good, but maybe.
Brooklyn is the 8th seed. They're 13 and 10.
Yeah, they're mediocre.
Then they got Boston. Toronto.
Okay.
And then they go Houston, Utah, Golden State, Denver.
Well, Houston. Are they at Houston?
At Houston.
Well, that's tough to win on the road.
At Utah, at Houston.
Can you bet now like an over-under?
I mean, I'm
like,
sure
can you bet
could.
like for wins for the year? Is there a? Can I go on and what do you think the number would be?
Probably not at this point.
9.
If they're 2-22,
they're
right
2 and
now.
22.
So that means 24 games. You still got 40,
So
50,
82
60. You
minus
got 58 games
58
left.
games.
So in 58 games, they can't win.
Well, if you think about going into last season, Maz, okay, and this season, they are 4-48.
Yeah.
So if over the next 48 games they win 4,
oh my God,
that puts them at 6.
Right, with like 8 to go.
With 10 to go.
With 10 to go. And maybe they win 1 there. Wow, they could beat the Sixers record.
What are we doing
Holy
here?
God. The 76ers won 9 games.
It's just funny to see like the people change that are the Pistons supporters that have been Troy Weaver supporters that have been the ones like, hey, just stay tuned. Like our own Detroit Kool-Aid, love you, man. But like finally, you saw Detroit Kool-Aid. He's got his breaking point.
Has he jumped off
Chris
the bandwagon?
Platte, he's got his breaking point. I mean, hell, even Troy Weaver probably has his breaking point.
Damn.
It's a situation, man. It's just not looking good for whatever the reason is, and it doesn't matter about Monty not getting in there yet or give him some time to figure it out and let the young guys blah blah blah. Like this thing is exponentially bad.
Just for your information, guys, let's put up the next stat, Pete. The Spurs have lost their 17th in a row. That's a franchise record. So for the first time in NBA history, in any league history, there are 2 teams with an 18-plus game losing streak the same year.
The
So
haves and have-nots.
It's the only difference between these 2 teams is the Spurs should have been picking 5th and the Pistons should have been picking 1st. Instead, it gets flip-flopped, so San Antonio has something to look forward to.
Can I just say
as Victor Wembanyama is hitting 3-pointers last night over I forgot who they were playing.
Asar Thompson might be the best player on the floor for the Pistons. And Jaden Ivey is actually playing, I think, pretty good basketball.
Yeah.
But doesn't fit altogether. Give me a winner tonight, Maz. You got to start the people out.
I'm taking the Chargers tonight to beat the Raiders straight up. Take the Chargers tonight and Easton Stick to get his first win as an NFL
Where are you on the
starter.
total?
I'm going to go over. I'm taking the Chargers and the over 35.5.
For 34.5.
There you go.
Bray.
Even better.
You got any famous last words?
By any means necessary.
Get it done.
There it is.
We'll see you tomorrow. Braylon Edwards, get us out of here.
You heard it. By any means necessary, Woodward Sports, we will do what we have to do to be the best, to continue to be the best, and to continue leading you guys into the 2024 year where we get the NFL draft. But before we do that, let's get to the playoffs and win the North. Sounds good? Sounds like a plan to me. For
See you
JB,
guys.
Pete, my man Maz, Ryan Ermanni.
Oh, yeah.
See you in 2 and 2 in the words of Chuck Woolery.
Chuck Woolery.
See you later.
Love connection.